Renewed hope for Niger Delta development as acting president continues consultation. National Assembly moves to tackle recession. Speaker Dogara inaugurates a tactical committee. Plus, federal government strategizes to end oil bunkering and environmental degradation in the country. Welcome to NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, has assured the people of the Niger Delta of government's continued presence through initiation and completion of developmental projects that will attract investments to fast-track economic growth and development of the region. The acting president gave the assurance at a stakeholders meeting on sustainable development in the Niger Delta region. Olajide Bello has the report.
Visitation of abandoned projects, execution of developmental projects in all producing communities, provision of extra budgetary allocation, job creation to address youth restiveness, as well as sustainability of amnesty program were parts of issues raised at the stakeholders meeting. The meeting, which is a fallout of President Muhammadu Buhari's drive towards addressing the bottlenecks in the Niger Delta, created a platform to brainstorm, interact and provide solutions to the agitations in the region.
Feels a sense of total neglect and abandonment from the federal government for which they are part of, especially those in Niger Delta region. Federal government projects are completely absent in Imo State.
I've today directed that all contractors whose projects have been abandoned must return to site forthwith. They must return. And I want to say that all these contracts will be investigated thoroughly. We'll investigate every one of those contracts, and those found to have diverted funds, we will ensure that they are prosecuted and that they are brought to justice.
The acting president also called for an attitudinal change among the people, urging them to desist from vandalism and destruction of government property put in place to better their lot. The meeting also featured presentation of some youth agitators who have laid down their arms and working with government to develop the region. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The acting president says the federal government will also engage all persons involved in illegal refining through modular refinery as a strategy to end in oil bunkering and environmental degradation in the Niger Delta region. Professor Osinbajo said this at a meeting with stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Rivers State as part of his engagement towards solving the agitations in the Niger Delta. Kingsley Amajiri has the report.
The acting president, after meeting with the government and people of Rivers State the previous day, met with APC stakeholders in Port Harcourt in continuation of the federal government consultation with the people in a bid to end restiveness in the Niger Delta region. He also gave assurance of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's commitment to the amnesty program, the East-West Road, the Calabar-Lagos Railway, and the implementation of the UNEP report on Ogoni remediation.
We've talked about those young men and women who are involved in illegal refining. Our approach to that is that we must engage them by establishing modular refineries so that they can participate in legal refining. We have made more provision for amnesty than has ever been made. And we have made more provision for social intervention. This state, Rivers State, has the second largest number of young graduates who have been employed by the federal government under our Empower scheme.
The acting president, however, tasked the members of APC in Rivers State to remain peaceful, stressing that they should not be discouraged being in opposition with hopes of victory in the...
We would like the federal government to continue to support the various security agencies to step up their efforts in sweeping Rivers State and indeed the Niger Delta clean of illegal arms and explosive ordinances.
We associate ourselves with every position that was expressed that is in the interest of the Niger Delta, both in government house and anywhere in the Niger Delta that such positions are taken.
In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The health sector has featured prominently at the Day 2 of the Joint National Assembly budget debate, with members of the civil societies giving their input regarding the quintessential value of healthcare delivery to the national development. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zayanu reports.
The 2017 proposed health budget analysis shows increase in total allocation put at 382 billion naira, representing 5.2% of the country's entire budget. In the joint presentation, the civil societies advised that specific contributions of development partners in the health sector should be identified and captured in the budget for the purpose of accountability.
The federal government of Nigeria should put in place the policy and legal framework for sustainable immunization financing and develop a transition plan to address the accelerated loss of Gavi support in the next 5 years.
When we go back to the 2016 budget, there were a lot of controversy in the budget. So we feel that to address this controversy is to allow people to come and make recommendations.
In a related development, Chairman Senate Committee on National Planning and Economic Affairs, Rabi Musa Konkoso, pledged the committee's determination to work within proposed budgetary allocations of the ministry and its agencies. He stated this at the 2017 budget defense by the Ministry of Budget and National Planning.
The 2017 budget not only is good, but is even better than the 2016.
Both the Senate Committee on Defense and that of Army also conducted the 2017 budget defense for formations under their jurisdiction, where Minister of Defense Mansour Ali and Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Yusuf Buratai defended their sectoral allocations.
The Nigerian Army is supposed to make deductions for withholding tax and VAT at point in times when payments are going to be made to contractors.
The budget defense by ministries and their agencies continued Wednesday. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zayan, NTA News.
The major focus of the 2017 budget proposal by the Federal Minister of Culture is promotion of Nigeria's tourism potentials in the country's economic diversification drive. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed stated this while defending the ministry's 2017 budget estimates before the Senate Committee on Culture and Tourism. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The Federal Ministry of Culture has, among other mandates, partnering with private sectors to safeguard the Nigeria's diverse cultural heritage. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, told the Senate Committee that establishment of 3 cultural industry centers in Adamawa, Lagos and Benin states was a major project in the ministry's 2016 budget. 3.5 billion naira in the 2017 budget proposal, according to the minister, is for salary and wages, contribution and pension, as well as the National Health Insurance Scheme contribution. The budget has also an increase of 250 million naira overhead compared to the last year's appropriation.
The tourism and culture sector of the ministry secured the assistance of the United Nations World Tourism Organization for the review of the tourism master plan.
Lack of infrastructure to attract tourists, absence of effective policy for visa provision, and the need for relevant ministries to come together towards ensuring effective work of the Presidential Committee on Tourism, which was initiated for about 11 years ago, formed part of the issues raised at the defense.
I will ask you to furnish this committee with more information that will put us in a very, good stead, to be able to understand all your expenditures.
Operation of 2 Nigeria's cultural centers in China and Brazil, as well as collaboration for capacity building and festivals, were other topical issues contained in the budget proposal. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
The Treasury's single account has revamped the place of public finance management in Nigeria as the ongoing reforms record successes in reducing wastages and leakages. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun at the 2-day TSA retreat emphasized government's intolerance for corruption and financial impropriety. Leah Katumba Batunde has the report.
Before TSA implementation, it was difficult for relevant institutions to determine the federal government cash position in a timely manner. Now, the position is clear.
The journey of the Treasury single account TSA began in 2012 but gained momentum in 2016 following a presidential directive to ensure its full enforcement. 1 year down the line, players in this epic decision paused to assess the journey so far and chart a course for the future.
It's given us greater visibility of the revenues of many of our agencies, and that visibility has allowed us to exercise better and stronger control.
Public finance management in the past year appears to be getting close to international best practices. The Treasury single account has put in check multiple banking arrangements with the consolidation of over 20,000 accounts initially spread across deposit money banks.
So, considerable gains have been made in TSA implementation. There is still a need to evaluate the program and identify most feasible ways to take it to the desired level.
The platform for the TSA is known as Remitter, managed by System Specs.
When you go through large-scale implementations like this, it's not unusual to have some initial turbulence. But if you remain focused, you know what you're doing, most of the time it comes out right.
Prior to the entry of the TSA, government borrowing amounted to an average of 4.7 billion naira monthly. The two-day retreat aims to avail participants opportunity to brainstorm, dialogue and engage themselves fully in the economic reform program. In Abuja, Lekatung Babatunde, NTA News.
The federal government is to launch a new FGN savings bond before the end of April 2017 to give Nigerians an opportunity to enjoy those benefits accruing to big investors in the capital market. Director General Debt Management Office, DMO, who announced this at a media briefing in Abuja, appreciated the confidence reposed in Nigeria's economy through the over-subscription of the $1 billion Eurobond offer. Finance and economic correspondent Cliff Ayoze reports.
Between 2012 and 2017, Nigeria offered 3 Eurobonds, with the last $1 billion oversubscribed eightfold, thereby showing investors confidence in the economy. To give Nigerians a stake in the nation's economy, Debt Management Office, DMO, is launching an FGN savings bond, which opens investment opportunity with a minimum of 5,000 naira and a maximum of 50 million naira before the end of first quarter of 2017.
Interest will be paid 2 times a year. The interest rate to be paid will be fixed, but it will be competitive. And this will be announced by the DMO on the first working day of every month.
The bond gives investors 5 working days to subscribe at a competitive rate through stockbroking firms on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The FGN savings bond has a 2 to 3 year tenure. Speaking on the $1 billion Eurobond, Debt Management Office Director General assured Nigeria is on the path of economic recovery and sustainable development.
The success of the Eurobond serves as a vote of confidence by the international community on the Nigerian economy of the direction government is moving to address the challenges facing the economy.
On why Nigeria chose the Eurobond option, he said every funding source has its limits and that no particular source can offer any nation all the money required to drive its infrastructure development. In Abuja, Cliff Ayoze, NTA News.
The federal government is partnering the private sector to ensure that cotton, textile and garment industry returns to its days of glory, where it contributed more than 30% to Nigeria's export. Vivian Idekbefo reports that this was the thrust of a meeting between the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and stakeholders in the industry held in Abuja.
The Nigerian cotton, textile and garment industry in the 1970s up to the 1990s was reputed to be an employer of about 1.5 million labor force through the value chain as raw material was sourced mostly locally. It was an exporter of estimated 30% of its production, with 124 companies in existence, as against the National Bureau of Statistics data that Nigeria spent about 24 billion naira on importation of textile between July and September 2015. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Aisha Abubakar, said government is determined to revive the industry along the value chain, taking advantage of its inherent investment opportunities with the launch of the 100 billion naira development scheme under the Bank of Industries.
I've asked Bank of Industry to partner with the Standard Organizations of Nigeria in coming out with a standard that will be internationally accepted so that our materials, once made, can be taken out.
It's all about diversifying the Nigerian economy and increasing self-reliance. Because one of the parameters for measuring the strength of countries is the extent to which they are self-reliant.
So they should explore exports and be able to sell to international market.
The annual global output of textile firms is put at over $400 billion. In Abuja, Vivian Idekpefo, NTA News.
State governors in the Southwest geopolitical zone have stressed the need to provide a common platform for social economic development of the zone. The consensus was reached at the regional meeting held in Government House, Ado-Ekiti. Kehinde Durodola has the report.
Issues discussed at the meeting include approval of the reports of the last workshops on security, law and order hosted by the Lagos State Government held in September 2015. Also, the approval of the constitution of the Regional Technical Working Group on Southwest Integrated Infrastructural Development, the runabout on education development and advancement in the Southwest hosted by the government of the state of Osun in June 2016. The governors also agreed to address the declined moral standards and put in place structures to manage the loss of values and virtues in the society. Host Governor Mr. Ayodele Fayose spoke on other issues.
And working very hard on the economy of the region using the Downs Commission and Udua as special vehicle for driving this economic agenda of the Southwest.
The governors said the region is indivisible, hence they are meeting to foster unity and progress in the region.
From the community rate, there is this high commitment to fast track the development of our region.
So generally speaking, we are here for the development, socio-economic development of our people.
We are all together working towards the same goal as a Southwest region.
They were of the opinion that for regional integration to become a reality, politics must be set aside. In Ado-Ekiti, Kehinde Durodola, NTA News.
Factional chairman of the PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sharif, has directed party members to go back to the grassroots, empower, mobilize, and consolidate for the reconciliation move to transform the party to victory. He stated this at the Southwest Stakeholders Meeting in Ogun State. The report.
The meeting acknowledged the leadership of Senator Sharif and efforts being made to reposition the party as well as extend hands of fellowship to all interests within the party to promote internal democracy.
I want to go to states and zones to see our grassroots. When I took over this party, I said the party must go back to the grassroots.
Some members of the party, irrespective of the anticipated court ruling on the national chairman of the party, expressed need for genuine reconciliation of all factions.
It's about compromise, but it is first and foremost, it is obedience to the rule of law. So we have just one thing.
Members expressed optimism of achieving success in the governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states in 2018. Which they noted is a pointer to their victory in 2019.
Federal government has been charged to adopt a deliberate strategy in promoting tourism in Nigeria. This came up at the unveiling of a book titled Redefining Tourism in Nigeria, The Real Issues and Challenges. Oyinaya Kaluoka has the report.
Reports by the Travel and Tourism Council show that this sector has generated about $7.2 trillion and 284 million jobs in the global economy in 2015. In 2017, the sector is expected to grow faster than the global economy. While countries like South Africa, Kenya, Morocco, and Gambia have made huge impact in tourism development, Nigeria, blessed with huge tourism potentials, is said to be paying lip service to it.
A $28 trillion worth industry, with Nigeria tapping below sub 9%, 0.9%. That is awful.
Do you know of any tourism site in Nigeria?
No, I don't think so.
The response by these students buttressed the need to change the perception of Nigerians on the importance of tourism, which is what the 16-chapter book hopes to achieve.
Herein lies the need for the nation to pay attention to the message being conveyed in the book by embracing it so that the next generation of youths in the country can drive this untapped area.
It marks a basis for training future leaders to develop an economic sector different from oil.
The book was recommended to secondary and tertiary institutions, as well as to tourism, culture, and information agencies in the country.
The message is very, very simple. Tourism is a veritable business in Nigeria that has hardly been touched.
But by the time you read the book, you will discover that a lot of beautiful things about Nigeria that we really don't have any reason whatsoever talking about poverty.
The need to include tourism as a subject in schools was also suggested. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, the federal government tasks resident doctors on industrial harmony. Details after the break.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed in ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, the opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Beautiful things are happening when the sun goes down, and when the night is darkest, that's the time our light shines bright. It's good to take some time away to put a smile on someone's face. To smile for me, smile for you, smile because you know that happiness is sure. Let your joy be more. So everywhere you go, you can make your laughter loud. You don't have to be there to make your presence felt. No matter where you are, we can be together in love. Together in love. Together in love. Happiness is sure. Let your joy be more. So everywhere you go, you can make your laughter loud. You don't have to be there to make your presence felt. No matter where you are, we can be together in love. Together in love. No matter where you live, together in love. No matter where you are, together in love.
Ooh la
la la. The Apostolic Church Nigeria don't come again. No, this time they invite mama, papa, brother, uncle, plus you where they listen to me now to the National Convention where they take place from Friday 17th go reach Sunday the 19th of February 2017 inside the Church National Headquarters, Apostolic Church National Temple, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, opposite Chinese Village, Olorunda, Ketu, Lagos. The topic of this Ogbonge Convention, the Church of Our Living God, now the pillar and ground for truth. 1 Timothy 3 verse 15. The Ogbonge people they will go follow to minister for this convention. Now Pastor Dr. Gio Olutola JP, National President TACN, plus other men will say God don't carry oil put for their head. All sent from Lona Territory, Cross River Territory, Igbo Land Territory, Maritime Territory, Akwa Ibom Territory, Ngo Andoni Field. All these people now they expect to make sure say they show face for this convention. My brother, my sister, if you come, I tell you the truth, your life no go remain the same again. Now Pastor L.O. Oladele, announcer.
The Nigerian Communications Commission hereby informs the general public of the extension of deadline for submission of tenders for selection of infrastructure companies for open access model for deployment of optic fiber infrastructure broadband network, Phase 2, Northeast, Northwest, South-South, Southeast, and Southwest zones. The new deadline for submission of tenders is now Wednesday, 1st March 2017. Bids submitted after the new dates shall be disqualified. The bid opening is scheduled for 12 noon, 1st March 2017 at the conference room, Nigeria Communications Commission headquarters, plot 423, Aguiyi-Ironsi Street, Maitama, Abuja. All further inquiries should be directed to Chairman, Broadband Implementation and Monitoring Committee, NCC headquarters, Maitama, Abuja. Management announcer.
Hello? Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list, starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliamp battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
The House Committee on Gas Resources invites the public to a public hearing for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Gas Processing and Marketing Regulatory Board and a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Gas Resources Development Agency. The public is requested to submit memoranda on the above bills to the committee secretariat at Committee Room 24, second floor, House of Representatives. Date February 16th, 2017. Time 10 a.m. Venue Conference Room 019, House of Representatives, New Building, Abuja. For further enquiries, contact the clerk on 0806-329-9800. Honorable Frederick Y. Agbedi, Chairman, Announcer.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. The National Assembly is strategizing efforts towards attacking headlong the economic recession, bedeviling the federal government's drive for functional development of Nigeria. A tactical committee to come up with the strategy for economic resuscitation has been inaugurated by the Speaker, House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloyi has the report.
The Tactical Committee is made up of 20 members from various walks of life and experience, with the mandate to come up with practical and implementable strategies for Nigeria to come out of the recession. In doing so, the committee is to liaise with civil society organizations, the Nigeria Labour Congress, and other relevant bodies with strong stakeholdership in running of the economy. The inauguration of the committee, chaired by Representative Bola Ayorinde, followed a motion moved by Representative Emmanuel Okejev in January, unanimously adopted on the need for more proactive steps to initiate viable steps to revitalize the economy for the benefit of the people generally.
Always the solution was homegrown. And in Nigeria, the challenge has not been lack of planning, but the discipline to stick to our plans and ensure that they are implemented so that our people can reap the fruits of those plans. The problems are well known. At this point in time, it is the solution that matters.
In another development, the House Committee on Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FERMA, has given ultimatum to some contractors who are yet to begin work on projects awarded on the rehabilitation of roads in Katsina, Kaduna and Zamfara states. This was during the committee's oversight inspections of the Daura Township roads, Katsina to Kano, and the Kaduna-Abuja dual carriageway, among others.
From the CGC, based on the past experience, we know that they are reputable companies. So what to expect of them that they should be on the side before even waiting for APG. But very unfortunate, they couldn't be on the side up to this moment. That's why we're just giving them a grace of 1 week. If they refuse to report on the site and commence their work, the committee will give a recommendation for the revocation of this job. That is our position.
Contracts had been awarded in November 2016. Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Hundreds of people, mostly youths, today took to the streets in Abuja in a mega rally to express their support to the Buhari administration. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Benankudu reports that Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, addressed the rally.
They came out in their large number under the auspices of Citizens Support Good Governance in Nigeria, carrying placards with various inscriptions in support of Buhari administration.
Agriculture, we are seeing the revolutions in agriculture. In infrastructure, we are also seeing the achievements in infrastructure. The second Niger bridge, by the grace of God today, is being implemented and awarded by President Muhammadu Buhari.
We understand that some people are being used just to cause chaos, and we are not agents of destruction.
The procession, which had earlier visited the vicinity of the presidential villa, went round capital city and terminated at the Unity Fountain.
Aware of the economy that the president inherited, the economy in which revenue had virtually collapsed, the infrastructure is nowhere to be seen, and the people who caused this are not worried at all. They accuse the president of not performing. Some of them wish him dead, but I can assure you that by the grace of God, he will outlive all of them.
We welcome your demonstration of support because this is what will keep the government strong. This is what will keep the anti-corruption war going. The war against corruption has enemies, very powerful enemies. Enemies who have resources, the kind of money that even the government doesn't have.
The mega rally was generally peaceful under the protection of the police and other security operatives. The organizers say similar rallies were held in 4 major cities of the country. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brunokudu, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, has appealed to medical doctors in government employment to desist from using strike actions to seek improved working conditions. The SGF stated this when he granted audience to executives of the National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria. He warned that they may lose public sympathy in the process as many avoidable deaths are recorded during strikes. The SGF, however, assured the doctors that the federal government will, within limited resources, is desirous of improving the working environment of government medical facilities. President, National Association of Resident Doctors of Nigeria, Dr. John Onyebueze, appealed to the federal government for improved salary structure and to see to the plight of medical doctors nationwide. A reception was held last night in honor of the newly appointed Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Hajia Amina Mohammed, organized by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The reception was attended by top government functionaries, politicians, and members of the diplomatic corps. Anthony Folson reports.
The word congratulations filled the air as guests here converged to be part of the reception in honor of Nigeria's Amina Mohammed. The Minister of Environment, she has just been appointed the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations. Her colleague in cabinet and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, said Nigeria is proud of her achievements.
She has been a real star. She has just excelled in every single position that she's been asked to perform in. Has been a real source of pride for this country.
Guests at the occasion took time to extol the sterling qualities of Amina Mohammed and enjoined her to always put Nigeria first in all that she will do at the United Nations. On her part, she assured the guests that she will remain steadfast and committed with Nigeria first in all that she will do.
The journey continues. I hope that I will continue not just to have your prayers, which are the most important, but that you still are reaching out. My door is open. Nigeria has an office on the 38th floor, especially for women, and the way and manner in which we conduct ourselves. Nigeria first, Africa, and the world. Thank you very much.
The Office of the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations is responsible for the running and managing of the secretarial operations and ensure coherence of activities and programs in the United Nations. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Director General Nigerian Television Authority Yakubu Ibn Muhammad has explained plans to recategorize NTA stations based on prescribed number of transmission hours. He stated this in Minna while addressing the management and staff of NTA Minna. Mukhtar Abubakar Wowo has the report.
The unscheduled visit to the Nigerian Television Authority Minna by the organization's Director General Yakubu Ibn Muhammad was intended to inspect the station's equipment and interact with the management and staff with a view to strengthening the station. The DG, while commending the dedication and commitment of NTA management and staff, hence the need to work harder.
It requires commitment and doggedness, on the part of every staffer of NTA. And I can assure you that I have every confidence that in NTA we have the people who are capable of taking NTA to the next level.
The DG called on stakeholders to support the NTA Minna station to serve the government and people of the state better. He, however, pledged to support the station with a generator, saying his administration will not compromise staff welfare. On the issue of digitization, the DG reiterated commitment towards the switch over in June this year and the plan to recategorize NTA stations nationwide to enable them operate based on their capacity and resources, as well as ensure effective service delivery in the country. The General Manager, NTA Minna, Mukhtar Abdullahi, expressed pleasure with the DG's visit, saying it will give the management and staff a sense of belonging and encouragement. In Minna, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
The Radio, Television and Theatre and Arts Workers Union, RATAU, marked the World Radio Day with a reflection on pioneers who championed the industry's growth in Nigeria. RATAU President Kabir Garba marked the day with a visit to one of the industry pioneers. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports.
Reputed to have championed the evolution of television and radio in Nigeria, RATAU Executive Committee said the decision of meeting a philanthropist, Prince Arthur Eze, who is an engineer, was by recognizing him as patron of the union.
It's on record that you are the first indigenous engineer who developed the broadcast industry across the length and the breadth of this country. In addition, sir, you are one of few who, after service, ventured into the oil business and is successful. We in the union therefore salute your doggedness and the dexterity to overcome all storms.
I'm very happy, Alad.
Thank you, sir.
That you are here to remind me, to make me to think. This is your man called Buhari. He's a different human being, cannot steal. That's why God kept me alive.
The recipient emphasized they continue to collaborate with government in meeting the yearnings of the people through effective information dissemination. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
It's time now to join Ademola Adiwe in Lagos for more on NTA Network News. Demola, over to you.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. In his quest to ensure that food, especially rice, is made available and affordable to Nigerians, Dangote Foods is set to venture into rice cultivation and sales. President Dangote Group of Companies, Aliko Dangote, revealed this at the company's Gala and Awards Night in Lagos. Annie Daniels has the details.
It was a night of unending presentation of awards to some trade partners of Dangote Group of Companies, whose unflinching support to the company has helped it to remain afloat even at this time of economic recession. President Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, could not appreciate the trade partners less for growing their volumes.
We are targeting to do in the next 2 years 1 million tons of rice, and I think that will really help in terms of conserving our foreign exchange and also making sure that rice becomes available and at the cheapest cost.
Some trade partners from across the regions were honored with over 2 billion naira mouth-watering prizes. Their award categories include Most Improved Customer, Most Loyal Customer, and Best Performing Customer awards in sugar, salt and flour. Others are first and second place national awards.
Some got money, some got product, depending on how good you've done and what your interest is. Because we do have conversation with the customers to understand what they really need. Flour is coming out with different varieties of flour. So the ones used for chin-chin and so on. And for salt, we're relaunching our thank you seasoning.
And for the awardees, it is a call to do more.
I congratulate Dangote and companies by giving me one of the award today.
It's very comfortable and nice doing business with them.
Dangote Group is one of Nigeria's most diversified business conglomerates with a hard-earned reputation for excellent business practices and products quality. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
The Bayelsa State government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Bank of Industry. The agreement is aimed at assisting the state in the area of provision of soft loans to entrepreneurs to help boost the state economy, especially agriculture. Samuel Numu Ninge reports that both parties paid 1 billion naira each as counterpart funding.
Governor Dixon said Bayelsa State is hungry for development and human capacity is one area that needs to be looked into. It's used for further collaboration between the state government and the Bank of Industry in giving loans to entrepreneurs to grow their businesses and the state economy.
This year, we want to create 10 billion. And that 10 billion will be utilized to give loans and grants, facilities, to start businesses. We are opening also many shops and areas, fashion area, and so many initiatives.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Bank of Industry, Mr. Waheed Olagunju, said they were in the state to give their part of 1 billion naira to the state government to use in assisting genuine entrepreneurs, especially in the area of agriculture. He also stressed that beneficiaries will be trained on how to utilize funds got in developing their businesses.
We will deploy them to supporting genuine entrepreneurs in the state who are willing to add value to the natural resource endowment. They have a lot of them in abundance, especially in agriculture.
The signing of MOU between the Bayelsa State Government and Bank of Industry had the state economic team in attendance. In Yanagoa, Samuel Numunengi, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
Bro, I think I've made my day.
Wait. Come on, bro. That's a job.
Bros, I went to buy a data bundle and then she gave me the smartphone. I'm suddenly free.
Bros, anyone can get free smartphone from Glo when they buy the special data bundle.
Oh. I thought we had something.
Obviously, your new bae.
Let's go.
Get a free 4G LTE smartphone when you buy any special data bundle at your nearest Glow World. Hurry while stock lasts and enjoy 4G for the same price as 3G. Welcome to the new speed of life.
Coca-Cola?
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you've won a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
Amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Yeah, welcome back to Abuja on NTA Network News. Stock falls by 0.84% on the Nigerian equities market as consumer spending for Valentine's Day drops for the second year running. Business News segment is here.
Thank you for joining us on the Business News segment. The Ministry of Budget and National Planning says the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan does not contain any recommendation to raise 5 trillion naira from asset sales in the next 4 years, as been speculated. Rather, the document contains 60 strategies for implementation with 4 key executive priorities, which include stabilization of the macroeconomic environment, agriculture and food security, sufficiency in energy, and industrialization, focusing on small and medium-scale enterprises. As people across the world observe Valentine's Day this Tuesday, consumer spending fell to $18.2 billion from $19.7 billion spent in 2016. Data from the National Retail Foundation says it is the second dip in Valentine's Day spending since 2010. And now to the capital market, where activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange maintained the downtrend, extending loss by 0.84% to close at 25,032.17 basis points. And that's business news at this time. The bulletin continues.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has increased its supply of petroleum products across the country in February. Acting NNPC Group Managing Director Saeed Mohammed, who chaired an emergency meeting of the corporation, announced 6 additional cargoes of petrol, 3 additional cargoes of diesel, and 250 trucks per day loading of diesel and kerosene from Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries. The NNPC also says it has its daily truckload of petrol, diesel, and kerosene on weekdays and weekends all increased. It therefore advised the motoring public not to engage in panic buying, noting that the NNPC has more than 32 days sufficiency for petrol and diesel to meet up demands. A federal high court sitting in Kano, presided over by Justice Zainab Abubakar, has ordered the forfeiture to the federal government of the sum of $9,772,000 United States dollars recovered from the former group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Mr. Andrew Yakubu. In her ruling, Justice Zainab held that the amount now in the custody of the EFCC are in the interim forfeited to the federal government. It will be recalled that on the 3rd of February, operatives of the EFCC stormed a building belonging to the former NNPC group managing director and recovered the amount stashed in a huge fireproof safe. A statement from the EFCC says Andrew Yakubu is still in custody of the commission and is assisting their investigation. It's now time for another break. Global tidbits, sports, and Wednesday's weather prospects are next after the break.
Building bridges for peace and social harmony to engender national development. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. It will be incisive, interactive, and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Chimendema Ndebusi has the global tidbits.
The Gambian government has annulled the former president's decision to withdraw from the International Criminal Court. In a letter to the United Nations chief, the government noted that the country is committed to promoting human rights, democracy, and good governance. And the United Nations has expressed concerns over the high number of deaths that occurred in the last few days in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Soldiers clashed with a local militia, killing up to 100 people. In South Africa, 20 couples have tied the knot on Robben Island, a place where the country's national icon, Nelson Mandela, was jailed for 18 years. The Valentine's Day mass wedding is an annual event that has been ongoing for 16 years now. In another development, Tunisia's Prime Minister on a visit to Germany has dismissed claims by German government that his country has not been quick in receiving rejected asylum seekers from Europe. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
And in sports, public primary schools receive sports equipment from the federal government, as Indomitable Lions of Cameroon boasts of taking 4 points from two-legged match against Super Eagles. Tamara Ibiwe has details on Sports Update.
49 selected primary schools in Ebonyi State received world-class sports equipment from the federal government, courtesy of the National Sports Lottery Fund. The equipment distributed covered football, volleyball, basketball, as well as judo and karate. The presentation of equipment to 2,000 schools nationwide is a testament of the present administration to promote grassroots sports. President of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, Emeka Onyama, is confident that the nation will give a good account of itself when this year's array of global competitions go underway, beginning with the World T20 tournament in South Africa in April.
We have a lot of competition for the females. In April, our boys are in South Africa to compete in the World T20 tournament, leading to qualification for the World Cup. So there's a whole lot.
Following the success at the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations in Gabon, the indomitable Lions of Cameroon are now talking tough ahead of the crucial World Cup encounter with the Super Eagles of Nigeria in August. Assistant coach of the team, Sven van der Broek, has revealed that the newly crowned African champions will pick at least 4 points when they play Nigeria in both World Cup qualifiers. And in tennis, Thomas Berdych of Czech Republic has advanced to the next round of the ABN AMRO World Tennis Championship in Rotterdam. Berdych outplayed Marius Copil of Romania 7-6, 6-4. With sports update, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
President Muhammad Buhari has expressed sadness over the death of Hajia Tasalla Fika, the wife of the former head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Adamu Fika, Wazirim Fika. In a telephone call from London to Dr. Fika, the president said the loss of such a devoted wife of many years is particularly a painful and challenging moment in the life of any husband. President Buhari explained that as a family man himself, he understands the depth of pain Dr. Fika is going through at this time. While praying to Allah to grant the deceased eternal rests in peace, President Buhari also wished Dr. Fika the fortitude to bear this enormous loss. The death has been announced of Sarkin Pardon Egon Nasarawa State Chief Ezekiel Z. Adagazu. Aged 72, Chief Adagazu worked and retired from the service of UACA in 1998 and joined active politics and contested gubernatorial seat of Nasarawa State in 1998 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. The deceased will be buried on the 16th of February 2017 in Jos, Plateau State. Now a quick check of weather for Wednesday.
Hello and welcome to the weather segment. I'm Adedonlu Adamnola. Another fresh dust has been raised from the source region, and we expect this to give rise to thick dusties over the northeastern part of the country. The northwestern part of the country, down to the central states, will still experience dust-haze conditions with horizontal visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers. The inland cities should be caught under cloudy conditions with some sunshine intervals. And as for the coast, they should experience some early morning mist. And as we move into the day, we expect hazy conditions over most parts of the inland cities, and localized thundery showers are anticipated over the coastal parts of the country. And for temperature details across the country, please to stand by.
Before we go, remember that you can access all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. And that concludes NTA Network News. Thank you for watching. Good night.